First up, we got Jago Sevatarion. If I said the guy's name wrong, my bad, y'all. We got the Prince of Crows explained by an Australian. Make sure you guys follow my Twitch down below. And other than that, let's go to it. Let's go.
G'day, guys and gals.
What's up?
It's no secret that almost all trader space marines, even the ones that used to be cool, became super lame.
That's true. By the way, real quick, I actually recorded like a short setup video that's gonna be dropping on Sunday, y'all. So if you want to see like my setup and stuff like that, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, because I will be dropping a setup video on Sunday. So I just thought, you know, I don't really like do a lot of videos on Sunday. Like Sunday's kind of like my rest day. Just know that I already recorded like a setup video, and I'm gonna have like my specs and stuff in the description down below. And yeah, let's go.
For throwing away the most glorious undertaking of mankind in favor of becoming a demonic plaything just isn't that relatable. The ones that did have decent motivations were either killed, like Argul Tal, or became one-dimensional and boring.
Yo, is it me or like? Give me one quick. Yo, is it me?
Were either killed, like
or does bro like Sylvester Stallone from like Rocky? Does he not? To me, he does.
Tal, or became one-dimensional and boring, like Khorne. However, there is one trader marine that breaks against this mold by being hilarious, fun to read about, and despite being evil, also having his own code of honor with a respectable attitude and motivation. Well,
so he's a crash out. Is that what we're saying? So bro's basically a crash out. Okay, but let's check it. Let's check him out. Let's check him out, because usually, like, we never listen. Whenever we come across like crash outs and menaces to societies in Warhammer, we automatically just exclude what they're doing. Bro, I don't even care if they do a funny joke. Yo, no lie, bro. If you're a crash out, bro, I'm not laughing at it. I promise you.
As you can get from being a fucking traitor. That man is Jago Sevatarion, or Sevatar as everyone calls him. First captain of the Night Lords, and a character so dope that the only thing holding him back is his very mysterious disappearance from the setting.
I'll keep it real. Oh, man, I can't believe I'm saying this. I would never give these guys props ever in my life. These Night Lords guys, bro, they tortured my favorite character in Warhammer. I would never love these guys, but I'm gonna just keep it real. Their armor and design and stuff like that is fire. I gotta give on a physical level, pause, because I know you're gonna take that out of context, but on the physical level, on like a sense of like, you know, what they're wearing and stuff like that, like their drip, it's cool.
With no one actually knowing if he is alive or dead, or if he became a founding member of the Grey Knights. Before we get started, I was finally able to get the Like pretty much every notable Night Lord, Sevatar was born in Nostromo, on the outer skirts of the capital city. This means he was a broke boy that would have had to struggle to survive in a world that hated him because it hated itself. Also, vitamin D wasn't really a thing there, so worldwide testosterone was at an all-time low.
Dang, so bro was like, he was born in Gotham, y'all. Okay.
Would explain a lot. Sevatar was a psyker, which he wasn't too happy about, as he actively suppressed his psychic ability. This meant he couldn't cast fireballs or shoot lightning out of his dickhole, but his suppressed power still massively boosted his strength, speed, and intelligence. A big reason as to why he was such a monster on the battlefield later in life. Jago was also pretty autistic, not in a tee-hee all space marines are autistic way. He was actually genuinely autistic and found it hard to relate to people or socialize. This also gave him a bit of a superiority complex, as he was able to think about situations in a different way and was generally right about everything. He also didn't bullshit or manipulate people because A, he didn't really know how to, and B, it wasn't his vibe. This all came together to ironically make the socially awkward autist universally liked, or at least respected, by both loyal and traitor space marines alike. He was one of the few warriors who could totally back—
You know, okay, maybe it's just me, because like I come across people in real life, y'all, who are like, I'm not gonna like, I'm I'm not mean, y'all. I'm not gonna be like, oh, like something's wrong with them or something. Like, I'm not saying that. It's just, I do come across some people in life, man, where maybe it's just because like I think I yap too much, or like, you know, I come off as like really I don't know, like I come off as like really like energetic a little bit, and you know, I yap a lot, y'all, and I do come across some people who are awkward, y'all. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with him. It's just like I know exactly what he means by that, because there are some people who are like, they don't really have like any like social skills or any like social cues, but they think that they are better than some people, if that makes sense. Now, if you don't know what that means, like some people think that like just because they don't have like these social cues, or like or like they're not really social, whatever, they think that they might be better than a lot of people because they look at like a lot of talkative people they look at them as not wise or whatever, which to a certain degree is true. You know, if you come across somebody who just talks a lot, whatever, and they pretend like they know everything or whatever, then like, yes, you're right. They do come off as like not wise at all, or they come off as dumb or stupid or whatever. But at the same time, don't just think that just because you don't have any social cues or just because you're socially awkward that you're better than people because you know you don't talk and like I try to understand the correlation between that, y'all. I'm still trying to understand that, but like I don't know. I don't get that. Like when Majorkill just said probably like 10-15 seconds ago, like I've met people like that, you know, who are just socially awkward, but at the same time they thought that they were, you know, more superior than others, you know, just because they lack those social cues. I guess because like they listen to everything. I guess, but you know, if you guys are like that, tell me down below, you know.
Up their arrogance, shown by his meteoric rise within the Night Lord Legion as he went from recruit to first captain and equerry of Conrad Curse very quickly. Sevatar was literally one of the only people in the galaxy Conrad actually liked, even if the Night Haunter refused to admit it.
That's not a flex. That's not a flex, bro. Honestly. That's not a flex, bro. Yo, if you're one of the only few people that Conrad Curse, that school threat, if you're one of the only people that he liked, bro, I can't lie to you. I can't talk to you. I can't even associate with you, bro. I know. I'm a weirdo for that. I know, bro. I'm a hater. Cause I can't, bro. Like bro, if you friends with him, bro, I can't even go near you. For real. The only people that I will even accept that like Conrad Curse is my own community. If you're in my community and you like him, you get a pass. Everybody else, nada.
I mean, Conrad literally ordered Sevatar to paint his gauntlets red, marking him as a failure who was destined for death or execution, but still had a duty to perform. Sevatar thought this was funny, as he hadn't failed anything, but the theory is that Conrad foresaw Sevatar eventually abandoning the traitor's cause, thus he was pre-marking him. I'll get more into this later, but it is pretty funny seeing the equerry of Conrad and the first captain of the Night Lords, the highest rank in the Legion, being marked as a failure and potential traitor, while still allowing him to maintain his rank. Sevatar was also the...
That's the most toxic-ish of all time. That's kind of like playing with somebody's emotions, but like low-key you don't like them, but at the same time you still like calling them up at like 1 to 2, maybe 3 a.m., bro. Like that's so toxic and so wrong, bro. Like
only Space Marine to ever beat Sigismund in an honor duel prior to the heresy. Both warriors fought non-stop for 30 hours, with Sevatar eventually getting sick of the duel and headbutting Sigismund, disqualifying himself but also knocking Siggy on his ass. So
they fought for 30 hours, bro? Yo, you were playing with another man's body for 30 hours? Couldn't be me.
Bit of a controversial win, but it summed up Sevatar pretty nicely. Honor was for fools. All that mattered was the result. It's also a good time to mention that while Sevatar was a respected and pretty cocky warrior, he was also pretty insecure about his autism. He saw the way his battle brothers bonded naturally and felt pretty jealous about it. He was also a true Night Lord, not one of those criminal man children who...
He was awkward though, he was socially awkward. I see why he felt that way. I mean, he himself, he was awkward. So if you see like a lot of people, if you see somebody, a man or a woman, who can easily attract people or who can easily, you know, make friends or whatever, or not even just make friends, but who can easily talk to people, like I can see why he felt that way, because, you know, he probably wished that he had that ability. You know what's so crazy, y'all? Like, I don't want to sit up here and try to flex or anything like that, because there's nothing really to flex about, but I didn't know how... I thought everybody was like me. I thought everybody was... As I get older, I think I'm starting to, like, come out of my shell more and more and more. And I genuinely like to talk to people, and I like to have conversations. I like to make people laugh and stuff like that, y'all. And I thought everybody was like that. And so you really get out in the real world, y'all, into like, you really see that a lot of people are, like, kind of awkward, bro. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I just think that a lot of people don't really talk. I feel like I'm kind of, like, cheating the system a little bit, because I talk to you guys every day. I do multiple videos. It's like I'm doing what I do now, like, to, you know, to people in real life, y'all. Like I yap a lot on camera. So whenever I do walk outside, I'm kind of like already warmed up, if that makes sense. So I can easily just, like, you know, oh, hey, how you doing? Da 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 da. Like, you know, oh, what's up, bro? Dap them up. Da da da. It's like whenever I do my videos, because I do kind of do my videos early on in the day. Whenever I do my videos, y'all, like, it's very like, after I do them, like, I'm already warmed up. I'm already, like, you know, ready to just talk to whoever and whomever for like a set number of hours. So, like, Yeah, I'm just a yapper, I know.
Fast and their sadistic nature. He upheld the Legion's ideals of justice, punished the criminal, spared the innocent. He wasn't a fan of his Primarch's degrading mental state, and he would go on to kill a number of his battle brothers that he didn't like. But more on that later.
That's hater-ish,
When the heresy
bro.
broke out, Sevatar was happy to join the traitors' cause, as out of all the legions, the Night Lords were arguably wrong the most. They were the legion that would terrify enemies into compliance. They would end wars through distasteful methods, but those same methods would spare billions of lives and a lot of infrastructure, as opposed to people like the Space Wolves, a respected legion, who would tear a world apart. So when the Night Lords would get censured and looked down upon, whilst the Wolves were lauded, it really pissed the 8th Legion off. Sevatar was actually the first ever traitor marine to say death to the false emperor, one of the most famous war cries of the traitor legion in the 10,000 years since. Despite this, the Night Lords did not join the cause of chaos or even particularly liked it. After the Isfahan Dropsite massacre, Argel Tal, a word-bearer who was possessed by a demon, walked over to Sevatar to congratulate him on the victory. Sevatar simply spat at the word-bearer's feet and saw him as rancid with corruption and
Hey, no lie, bro. I'm throwing down my weapon and I'm putting up my hands like these. Yo, you spitting at my Jordans is crazy. Bro, you spitting at my Air Force Ones is absolutely diabolical. You know what I'll do to you? Stop playing with me, bro. Bro, I'll throw down, I would legit throw down my bow and arrow, bro. I'll throw down my sword right now, bro. Yo, run me my 30 right now, bro. No talking. Somebody start a timer. Run me my 30 right now. Spitting at my Jordan, bro. He just spat on my Jordan 4s. Is he serious?
disgusting. After this, Sevatar and the Night Lords would go to Thramis to fight the Dark Angels. To their credit, despite the Dark Angel Legion being notably mightier, the Night Lords were able to delay them for years with hit-and-run tactics. Eventually, Conrad sent a parley request to the Lion, who responded and met with his brother, both Primarchs taking 2 honor guard each. Conrad brought Sevatar and another, whilst the Lion brought the legendary Khorne and another. As the Primarchs spoke, Khorne and Sevatar had surprisingly solid banter, with Khorne having some knowledge about Nostromo and teasing Sevatar about his red-painted gauntlets. In turn, Sevatar gave him shit about the way the Dark Angels would wear hoods and cloth over their power armor.
True.
Despite being at war...
No. You know what? I don't mind the hoods. The hoods actually look kind of fire. That's something that I would wear in real life to impress the girls.
Both warriors were smiling and joking through the exchange, showing again how universally liked Sevatar was. Unfortunately, the meeting turned sour when Conrad started shit-talking about the Lion, so the Lion stabbed him and then they got into a brawl.
Ooh.
Conrad got the upper hand and began choking the Lion, forcing Khorne to intervene and stab Conrad in the spine.
Ooh.
However, this meant that the other Dark Angel Honor Guard had to fight both Night Lords, including Sevatar. Thus, he was killed. To finally finish the Thamus Crusade, the Lion went to a world and picked up a mega powerful sentient device that could basically teleport the Lion's fleet wherever he wanted. Thus, he used it to ambush the Night Lord's fleet and end the war. At the time, Conrad was in a coma. Sevatar tried to psychically enter his Primarch's mind to wake him up. In doing so, he activated his long-suppressed psychic powers, showing that he did actually have a lot of care and loyalty for Conrad, as he really didn't want to have to activate them. In the dream, Conrad told Sevatar to piss off and acted all self-righteous and shit. Sevatar then called Conrad a hypocritical fuckhead who should take responsibility for why the Night Lords turned out so messed up. Sevatar is then kicked out of the dream as the Dark Angel ambush begins, so Sevatar takes...
Bro, imagine getting kicked out of a dream. Hey, imagine you get kicked out of a dream. Imagine somebody like don't like you that much to the point to where, bro, if they show up in your dream, bro, they just kick you out. Like, I don't know how he kicked them out, but like they just kick you out of the dream because they don't like you so much. That's diabolical.
Charge of the Legion and was actually doing a great job. Maybe he wasn't going to win the battle, but his count looking good, as was his ability to pull out the Night Lord fleet. But then Conrad woke up and fully Leroy Jenkins the Lion's ship, ruining Sevatar's plan and dooming the Night Lords to lose the battle and suffer massive casualties. Sevatar simply sighed and said, "Fuck me, my dad is retarded," before following his Primarch into their foolish attack. This resulted in a huge chunk of the Night Lord's Legion dying, including most of Sevatar's elite Atramenta Terminators, as well as Sevatar getting captured due to him blacking out from his newly awakened psychic abilities mid-battle.
Them boys
During
down
his
bad.
He was able to psychically communicate with a young astropathic girl due to his new powers. However, those same powers were making him feel sick, as if he was dying. The girl tried to help him control them, however for speaking with him, she got the shit beaten out of her by the astropathic overseer. This enraged Sevatar as it directly violated his moral code, the innocent being hurt for no reason.
Bro, no, yes, that, but bro, if I look like Sevatar, if I look like bro, if I looked like him, and the girl was talking to me, and she wanted to help me out, and I look like these, and then some random buff bum came through and started beating the girl and beating the only girl that actually wanted to spend time with me. No lie, bro, I'm crashing out. Yo, that was my one and only chance. That was my one and only chance. Yo, that girl was talking to me. Yo, what are we talking? Yo, what are you doing? I was about to beat something else. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You an adult. Yo, use your imagination. I was about to beat down something else. Who told you to beat her down? What are you doing? He was giving her all types of KFC combos, Wendy combos, all types of JBCs, Baconators, and everything. He was giving her all types of combos. Yo, what are you doing? Man.
Strong taking advantage of the weak. He also quite liked the young astropath and thought she was good company. Hence he staged...
Duh! What did I tell y'all? Y'all thought I'm lying? I'm not lying. Yo, if I look like these right here, bro, man, best believe, yo, any girl that come my way, how you doing, man? Bro, man, yo, what do we... Duh! How dare you, bro? That was my one and only chance. That was my one and only chance.
An escape, said hello to her, viciously killed the young girl's tormentor, and then surrendered to be taken back into his cage. The scene is actually pretty badass. After he throttles her tormentor to death and is surrounded by dark angels, he says, "I am judgment, I am punishment, and I surrender." When I refer to Sevatar as a true Night Lord, it's shit like this I'm talking about. This is actually the last time we see Sevatar in the lore. He is referenced many times since, but is never actually seen. Most Night Lords say he died towards the end of the heresy, at the Siege of Terra, but we also don't see him escape from the Dark Angels, and no one actually saw him die. Post-heresy, whenever Conrad would summon his Night Lords for a meeting, he would demand the presence of Sevatar. Only
turn around and die! Like, bro, look at him. Man, if this ain't the most emo...
he once again told that the first captain was dead.
Yo.
This would then upset Conrad, whose mental state was pretty terrible by this point. Talos believed Sevatar was dead, whilst his battle brother Mercutian held on to the belief that Jago was indeed alive. Then there is the theory that he went on to become a founding member of the Grey Knights. This theory is because he was already pretty anti-chaos, was already not a fan of where the traitor legions were going, was a prisoner of the Dark Angels, and there is a statue of one of the founding Grey Knights called Cryon, who held the Nemesis halberd and whose inscription sounded a lot like something Sevatar would say. Sev was also a Psyker, which was a requirement to become a Grey Knight. Not to mention the original Grey Knights and Knights Errant were taken from all legions, not just loyalist ones. However, based on what ADB has said, him being the creator of the character, it seems as if Sevatar is no longer alive in the setting and didn't become a Grey Knight either. However, it's also insinuated that Sevatar would go on to survive the Horus Heresy and will likely have an in-depth plot that takes place during the Scouring and centuries following the Heresy, neither being a true loyalist or a traitor. Either way, Sevatar's legacy lives on, with the remaining Atramenta splitting up, as no leader would ever be worthy of their unity other than Jago, as well as the other Night Lords constantly speaking of him as a figure of legend. Regardless of his fate, Sevatar was a fucking...
Feel like he got a mask on. Y'all see that? Look like his... like he got his Halloween costume on.
Character, a model of what an interesting, multi-dimensional traitor should look like. If you enjoyed the video and you
hey man, shout out to Majorkill for this video, man. I don't really know too much about this dude. Now I do. I mean, it sounds like, you know, it sounds like he was like kind of, I don't want to say he was OP, but it sounds like he was like a pretty good Night Lord's warrior, whatever. Obviously, you know, Conrad Kurz, he was a weirdo, and you know, he was being a weirdo to him and stuff like that. But other than that, man, comment down below, man, what do you guys think about this guy right here? Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also make sure you guys follow my Twitch down below, man. And I'm gonna see you guys later. Peace out, everybody.